Well, hello there. Welcome back to the art room. I'm really glad you could make it today. In today's art room, we're going to be building some wonderful cats using our familiar Crayola Air-Dry Clay. Can you keep them quiet back there for a minute? Easy step-by-step instructions will make sure that... Okay, well, we can't hold them back any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, here they are, the Shayna cats. Let's get back to the art room so we can start making our cat sculptures. Okay, welcome back to the art room for our clay cat building lesson. Just love those dancing cats, don't you? Here's a family that I made out of this air-dry clay. It's wonderful stuff. Did a whole family. Was kind of fun to make 3 different ones. You'll just find yourself wanting to do more as you get into this. So we're going to take you through the lesson. It's really quite easy. If you love building clay projects out of this Crayola clay, here's some of the lessons that we've done. A dove, the birdie shack, the gnome cave, the tropical fish, and the owl family was a good one too. Look them up if you love building with clay projects like we do here in Mr. Shay's art room. So I've got a nice big lump that I pulled out. That's going to be for the body. I'll roll that up. And then what I'm going to do is pinch off 4 separate bits for front paws and back legs, I guess. And they don't have to really be even or anything. We'll make adjustments as we go. Actually, my clay is a little bit sticky. I just put a little water into it, so it looks a little sticky, but don't worry, it'll be okay. I'm going to pick out a chunk for a clay tail, and the tail's going to be quite big. I kind of like the big tail thing on a cat, the way the ones had that I showed you at the beginning. So let's roll up our main body. And the more you roll your clay, the drier it's going to get. If it starts out wet, your hands absorb a lot of that moisture. And I'm shaping it into kind of a baked potato, I guess you would say. And on one end, I'm going to kind of make it a little bit like a head, I guess, but not much. I'm not doing hardly any features on this. I love how simple our cat is. Let's take one of our little balls of clay, and I'm going to make it into a little cone shape like that. And I think I'll roll out the other one, pat it down on the table a little bit, and let's hook this on. I think these are going to be our rear legs, so we'll just smush those into position. And I kind of want my leg to have sort of a pointy end. Yeah, and so that's kind of the way why we're doing that cone shape. The other one going on there, and I'm going to tamp his little rear end down there a bit and try to define our kitty's hindquarters here with a little thumbprint there. His tail will go in there later on as we develop our cat. So, hey, we're off to a good start. All right. Great. And I'm just going to bring that head just up a little bit. Let's go for the front paws now, and I'll roll those out there. They're a little skinnier. Make them a little thinner than the legs, and I'll just stick that on. Crayola clay just sticks to itself so well. It never comes apart. It's really easy to blend and hook together. as you can see how I'm doing here is with just working my thumbs back and forth. And I'm going to tuck those legs back in and the front paws back in. Give it a kind of a cat-like pose. You know how cats kind of stand inward like that. It'll make it look a lot less like a dog or a cow or something like that. A lot more cat-like. So let's roll out our tail. I got a little too much tail there. I think I'm going to cut back on that a bit. And we'll kind of form sort of a graceful tail. Good. I'm going to use a kind of a toothpick thing here. Wooden stick. I've had them around the art room. You've got a toothpick around home. That'd be a good thing for you to use. And I'm going to insert that toothpick into the pointing end of my tail here, just for a little extra support while the project's drying. It'll take a couple days for this to dry, and I'm just going to shove that toothpick down into the body, and then let's take a second and kind of reform that. Boy, that tail's looking a lot. I think it's a little bit too big. I think what I'm going to do here is just pinch a little bit off the top, I think. It's just a little too much. Yeah, let's get rid of some of that. Okay, that's better. And I'm going to form it as I go. Kind of give it a little flatter look here and give it a little more graceful bend towards the end. Okay, hey, our cat's looking great. He is looking great. Okay, let's pinch off a little bit and we'll see if we can do some ears. It's going to make kind of a little pancake shape. Let me kind of smush that down. Take my little butter knife here, my favorite clay tool, and cut off a little triangle. And somewhere on top of his head, I'm going to mush that in there. Very good. Okay, that'll stick. And no, that's too little. Let's do this one, and we'll cut another similar little triangle. Stick that on. And I'm going to use my one of my toothpicks to do some blending there. Great. Oh, it's just great. And then I should try to mush everything together with your fingers. There's that technical term, mush, again. And let's kind of form that a little bit. It makes a good clay tool as well. Set him down on the table so I know he's going to stand kind of, like that. All right, that's the overhead view, of course. And I'm just going to keep forming him as I go. Let's take a pencil point and we'll define his inner ear. That'll become really useful to us when we begin to paint in a couple of days after this dries. And hey, let's do a little final forming. I'm going to take my index finger and kind of make a little round area there. So I make sure that he kind of looks like his back is hunched up just a little bit the way he's standing, just to give him a really nice cat-like pose. And let's see. Let's set him down. He's going to fit in well with our family, don't you think? Okay, it's been 3 days since we made our little funny little cat, and here I am painting him in. I always like to show you the painting process, even though it's entirely subjective. I've even seen cats like this painted blue or green, but anyway, we're going to kind of go for a naturalistic look as I lay down this kind of a tabby orange color. Acrylic paints, by the way, but it could be tempera paint if you prefer, if that's what you have, or even watercolor. So got a good base of orange. I'm going to stand him up on my little stack of erasers, and what I'm going to try to do is pick out sort of a tabby white pattern across his face, down his chest. And what that does is immediately kind of give you the idea that the cat is looking in one direction. He's looking towards us, because he's got that white front. Going around his tail and making some neat little kind of raccoony kind of stripes with my white acrylic. And up across his body with these kind of stripy white areas. And if you have a cat at your house, maybe you're going to actually copy your own cat that you have. That would be super cool. And so anyway, as I go here, I'm adding these white details. Put some white in his eyes across the front of his chest and around the side. Don't forget to do the back too. It gets a little tricky sometimes when you're holding on to this thing while it's wet. And so, hey, don't get paint on your fingers. Uh-oh. Sure, well, you can look at my fingers. I've always got paint all over mine. That's kind of part of the process. So, enjoying this as I go here with these white details. I'm right across the back here. And I'm continually punching up that white front there, trying to get that to look nice and bright. For the front. So I'm going to water down some brown acrylic here and add some more color to the tip of his tail with this watered down brown. And I'm going in between the white areas that I made, of course. Really getting to like it now as I go in between those white places that I started before. Trying to accentuate these tabby stripes, lines in his fur, a little bit on the side of his cheeks, and let's flip over here and do some over there too, following my white patterns that I've already established. Oh, he's really starting to look great now, don't you think? So yeah, just kind of feathering that in. Okay, so next then I'm going to come in and I want to define his face a little more. So looking at pictures here of cats, I noticed that the top part of their head is usually a little bit different than their muzzle area. And here with the pink, I'm going to put a little dot on his nose. And let's create that muzzle a little bit more with some white here by kind of giving him like his mouth area. That'll be where we add the details of his mouth. Stirring up a custom eye color with some green and blue mixed together, or no, I mean yellow and blue rather, and we'll touch those on carefully. This is pretty fine work. I'm trying to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing here. And probably the hardest part, I've got a fine brush and I'm outlining his nose and then coming down into, oops, okay, well, let's even that up a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. And with brown around his eyes. Oh yeah. And how about some little marks on the side of his face there too. Let's get into some black with some black pupils. Okay. I'm going to let that dry for a second before I dip into my white and add some highlights. That really brings those eyes alive, don't you think? And I think one more thing. It looks like he kind of needs a little set of eyelashes or something to accentuate the top part of his eyes there. Okay. Oh, I love him. So the last step then is to get our familiar shiny spray out. It'll make your paint last a long time. And there he is. I think he really does fit in with the family. Yeah, he does. He's happy. All right. Well, we're going to leave it right there. So as we always say, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for coming along on this journey with me. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, you got something to be proud of. You're an artist. So stick with it. And we'll see you back here next time in Mr. Shay's Art Room.